Good morning, afternoon, or evening. My name is Adam with the Theory, and welcome to another episode of Adam's Theory. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is like my fourth time recording this video. All right, I'm really gonna have to learn how to edit because every time I'll do the video, I'll finish it, and I'll be like, okay, I like it, and then I'll look at it like, oh man, I should have said this, should have said that. So, all right, well, anyway, this is my fourth attempt to do this video, so I think that's a record for now. Um, the topic I wanted to discuss in this episode of Adam's Theory was how to start playing Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so I started playing Dungeons and Dragons 3 years ago. All right, I was in Korea and I was bored out my mind, and I went to there was a I guess like a little game center, and I saw some nerds playing with with dice, and they had character sheets, and I'm like, I want to be a nerd like them. So I went up to them and asked them, and they pretty much introduced me to the game of Dungeons and Dragons. Now, in me learning to play, I made a lot of mistakes, and I want to introduce other people into the game, but I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I did. So, how do you start playing Dungeons and Dragons, Adam? I'm happy that you asked that. So, first thing is you find a dungeon master, okay? And as I said, that you could do that online, or have a friend, or just find a dungeon master, okay? Whether it be online, your friend, uh, the creepy guy at the end of the lunchroom and stuff. You're bound to find someone that plays Dungeons and Dragons. And what I would do is, now I know everybody's saying that, oh, go online, get the book, learn the rules and stuff. We're not there yet, okay? Now with the new uh, player's handbook for 2024, it is a good this is a good time to get into Dungeons and Dragons, okay? Because before the 2024 handbook, if you wanted to get into Dungeons and Dragons, you'll have to get the player's handbook and all the other extra books that came up with all the extra subclasses out there. So it could get a little bit expensive. So yeah, let's not do that. So you can get the 2024 Dungeons and Dragons, not 20 Dungeons and Dragons. Wow, the 2024 Players Handbook. Okay, you could get that online, or you could watch video because there's plenty of people doing videos on it. Um, I did buy my copy, and later on I will be doing some video just about the book and subclasses and stuff. But to be quite honest, I'll probably will need some help, so I'm probably going to call up my call up some friends of mine to help me out with that. All right. So, but that's in the works. Okay, that's in the works. So, don't tell nobody. All right. So, but yeah. So before we get into that, about I guess getting the actual book, what I would do is I would actually ask my dungeon master, "Hey, could you make me a level 1 fighter?" Okay. Now, the reason I say that is, well, first off, you're learning to play Dungeons and Dragons, so you need to start at level 1. Do not be like me, okay? So my very first character in Dungeons and Dragons was a level 6 warlock monk. That's right, a level 6 warlock monk, and I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons before. Why am I starting at level 6? I have no idea what a warlock does or a monk does, but I just thought that they'll be cool together, the multi-class. So start at level 1. Don't. This is one of those times where I say, do not be like Adam. Okay, you can be like Adam in many aspects of life, but in this part where Adam was trying to learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, don't be like him. All right. So start at level 1 and have your dungeon master make you a fighter. Okay, a basic fighter. All right. Now, I know people are going to be in the comment section. They're even probably talking to themselves in this video like, what, a fighter? I don't want to play no fighter in Dungeons and Dragons. Rah, 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 rah. Not stop. Shh. All right? The reason why we're starting with the fighter is because the fighter is basic. And that's what we want. We want a basic character for the new player to learn. All right? Because to be quite honest, here is Adam's theory on learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons. The best way to learn to play Dungeons and Dragons is to play Dungeons and Dragons. That's right. Okay? Yeah, I could go and give you the books. I could, try to teach you the rules, but none of that is going to make sense to you until you actually start playing the game and rolling some dice. All right? Persuasion checks, investigation checks, disengaging, the initiatives, grappling, all that is not going to make any sense to you until you start playing. And the fighter's the best class to start to learn how to play because they're so simple. You go, you fight, you win. Okay? With every other class, there's things you gotta learn, all right? Like you pick the barbarian, you gotta remember the rage and you gotta remember the rage. With the rogue, you're gonna be asking, oh, do I get sneak attack? Do I get sneak attack? Do I get sneak attack? And and don't feel bad, okay? I know players that have been playing the game for 4 or 5 years still asking if they get sneak attack every time they attack. So don't feel bad about that. All right. All right. So if you pick the druid, you're gonna have to learn the dungeon man. Why can't I talk? You're gonna have to go into the manual, and then find out every freaking monster for your wild shape. What else? I mean, if you pick the ranger, all right, no one picks ranger, so let's. I made it funny. That was a joke, okay, for you guys to laugh at it, okay. So now I could go and put that. I could put comedy in my video. Say like, yeah, I'm funny, but yeah, you could pick a ranger too, but don't. Um, so the fighter keeps it basic, so that way you can actually just play Dungeons and Dragons. You go, you fight, boom, and also the reason why I want the new player to actually just play the game is so that way they could actually learn also the soft rules of Dungeons and Dragons. The soft rules of Dungeons and Dragons, to me, this is another theory. I'm hitting you like with two theories in this video. I mean, good lord. Um, these are the rules in Dungeons and Dragons that is not in the book, but you kind of learn as you play. You learn certain social cues, certain norms, when role playing, like, okay, let me go and let, player A kind of talk. Let me give player B the spotlight in this. Also, in formations, like, okay, well, I'm the fighter. Let me be in the front trying to take the hits because I have the high AC. And I'm going to trust that my cleric or bard behind me is going to buff me and heal me so that way I can continue to do that. So that way I don't run away. Okay? Certain things like that. Or if, oh, well, I'm the wizard, maybe I shouldn't go and start, opening every door and stuff because I'm squishy. Certain soft skills that the book isn't going to tell you. You're just going to have to learn as you play. So that's why instead of spending a good hour or two trying to explain to the person how to make a character, which, don't get me wrong, making a character in Dungeons and Dragons is one of my favorite parts of the game. All right. Right now, I am making a Turtle Shadow Sorcerer. Turtle Shadow Sorcerer. Turtle Shadow Sorcerer. Turtle Shadow Sorcerer. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. And I have reasons why I'm doing a Turtle Shadow Sorcerer, which I won't get into that now. Unless you guys want me to actually do a video on some of the characters that I built. And I could kind of go over certain character creations. You know what? That would be a good idea. I like that. You're smart. You're real smart. I like that. Get yourself a cookie. Anyway, so back to the topic. Back to the topic. All right. So building a character is fun, but that does take time, and you gotta kind of know what you're doing. All right. Building a character is not learning to play Dungeons and Dragons. Learning to play Dungeons and Dragons is playing Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. So start out with that level one fighter. Get your character sheet. Go in the tavern and play. Do the role play. Roll the dice because that's the best part of the game. And after you play with the fighter a couple of times and you get TPK'd by the goblins ambush that you're going to, because all right, here's this. You If you play Dungeons and Dragons, the TPK is going to happen with the goblins. The goblin ambush you're never going to see coming, and you're going to lose, and it's okay. We all have to lose. The goblin ambush is your rite of passage to Dungeons and Dragons. Okay? So, third Adam's theory. Third, I gave you three theories today. My God. Ugh. But anyway, so now, if you don't want to play the fighter, fine. You could play the barbarian. Just remember the rage. You could play the rogue. Just have your dungeon master give you a little cheat sheet of when do I get sneak attack. Um, I picked those three. Yeah, you could pick a ranger, but if you know what, in the comment section, if your first character is a ranger, please let me know. Please let me know. I would love to hear your story if your first character was a ranger. I really would. All right. But yeah, I mean, rangers are basic enough to, that could be your first character as well. Now, if you're trying to be a spellcaster, I would for your first character, I would prefer a paladin because they're simple and they're fun and let's be honest, the you're only going to be using your spells for smites. It's your first time, so it is what it is. But if you want to be a spellcaster, you know what? I'm gonna be biased. I say be a warlock. All right. If you want to be a spellcaster for your first character, be a warlock. The reason I say it is they're easy. All right, you're gonna be you got two spells and Eldritch Blast, and most of the time you're just gonna do Eldritch Blast because it's that good. All right, so just yeah, do not pick a wizard or sorcerer because of the fact that they're too squishy and they require a certain level of understanding of the game and how spells work. That for your first game or two, I really wouldn't want you to be, have to deal with that. Don't pick a druid because wild shape is going to give you a headache and your DM a headache. You cleric, you could, I guess, if you want to. I'll let you decide with the cleric. Do not pick an artificer. Do not pick an artificer. All right. Do not, for the love of everything holy in Dungeons and Dragons, make your first character an artificer. It's just gonna go and just you're gonna have a bad day. All right. So, well, that's my video. All right. So I need you all to do me a favor. I need you to not only like the video, but if you haven't subscribed, please, please, please subscribe to my channel. That motivates me to go and wake up every morning and give you another video of Adam's Theory. Also, I got some nice little projects in the works. I'm gonna try to push out a couple more videos because there's a lot of things I really want to talk about. And I was doing this one video a week thing, but I think I could, crank it up a notch and stuff. Do maybe two or three. And also, I know that you guys love to hear me talk, but I think that it would be better if I kind of bring other people to the show. And that is coming in the future as well. All right. So, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. And, hey, until next time, let's roll some dice. All right. Later.